Hey family, welcome to Family Meeple. We are back at the table for our next episode of Marvel United. All in. Oh, visitor on the board. Okay, it has been crazy getting warm here in the UK. My office hit 37.5 degrees centigrade today. Generally it's not that warm outside, but I am struggling a bit with my voice, so I apologise. It has cooled down now. It's 11:30 at night, so I've got the door open, which is why I'm probably a bit quieter than I would be normally. We are going to make this happen. We are on the last rung now. We've got two, I think maybe three more heroes to unlock. I did go back and unlock some additional heroes. We had a number of keys available, so certainly one of those we're going to see tonight on the table, so looking forward to that. I haven't had a look at what these guys do. I've got an idea of what they've got in terms of sort of heroic abilities and attacks and stuff like that, but we are up against, tonight our villain is Kraven. Okay, so carrying on with the Spider-Man theme, so he doesn't have any special setup, but his special rules are: when a hero is knocked out, Kraven doesn't activate his move, instead he plays another master plan card, so you want to avoid that if possible. In the event of his ban, he deals 1 damage to each hero in his location, plus any one hero with any crisis tokens takes 1 point of damage per crisis token that they have, so that could be absolutely crippling. We'll find out. In the event of overflow, if a token can't be added to a location, one hero must take 1 damage. Heroes choose, and his villainous plot is to knock out all the heroes at the same time. And of course, true to fashion, we have only got our 2 heroes, so let's have a look who will be joining us. We have Mockingbird, so we'll draw her up. Now this isn't a challenge mode, we do have all of our double wilds, etc. Okay, and let's have a look. So we've got a move, a wild, an attack, and we've got a special, so let's have a look at that. Okay, there we go. So she's got Spy Master. The next master plan card played cannot add any civilians or thugs to your location. She can lock down where she is. Okay, so that's her starting hand, and joining her we have She-Hulk. This is one of our new characters that we've just unlocked. So a move and attack. We've got transformation, 2 of those, and a double heroic feat. Let's have a look at one of these transformation cards closer up. So it says you attack plus another attack for each transformation card in the storyline, including this one. Nice. Okay, so when you play this the first time, you're going to get 2 attacks. The second time, you're going to get 3 attacks, and it comes with a move as well, so that's quite handy. Yeah, you can read the text. Obviously the green isn't showing up quite so well. Obviously a lot of green here. Okay, so we go, let's have a look. So this is our villain here. Apologies, you've got the glare again active, apologies for that, but we'll just have a quick look at the setup around the board at the locations that we've got as we'll place out the threat cards and get set up. So we have location number 1 is Oscorp Tower, so we gain a movement token if we've cleared the threat. This threat is decoys, so it says every time Kraven takes damage in this location, he ignores the first point that's received. Moving around, then we have Midtown High School. At the end of your turn you may gain a heroic feat. I'll just slide this across slightly, there we go. Okay, and we've got traps here. So if there are no civilians or thugs in this location, when a hero takes damage here, they receive an extra damage. At a Brooklyn Bridge we may add one civilian to any location, then rescue a civilian here. We've got more traps. Moving across, then we've got Queen's, our healing spot. If you have one or two cards, you may draw a card. We've got more traps here, and the Daily Bugle gives us a sneaky peek at the master plan deck, and we place it at the bottom. That's where we've got decoys, which means the last decoy will be down here in Osborne Labs. That's where we get extra attack tokens. That's where the decoy is going. So our villain then is starting with 4 health, so we'll rack them and stack them. So we've got 4 health on the board. And let's roll a die and see where Kraven will begin. He'll start in location number 1. So over at Oscorp Tower is where Kraven is starting. Clearly just been invited by the Green Goblin to come and wreak havoc upon our heroes. But it does mean our heroes will be starting 3 away. So 1, 2 and 3. We are over here at Queen's healing location. Okay, as always then our villain goes first. So we have move 1, no ban, but put out 6 tokens. So we're on the brink of overflow already in these 3 locations. So let's go ahead and move Kraven just the 1 over to Midtown High School, and we're going to put out 2 civilians there, 2 civilians over at Oscorp Tower, and 2 civilians for Brooklyn Bridge. Okay, so certainly not devastating. We surprisingly didn't take any damage that opening round. So let's have a look. Good fashion, moving left to right, we have Mockingbird first up. I mean, all single icons, which is not fab. I'm wondering, do we just take out that traps and that opens up our healing spot for us, so at least we're hopefully trying to avoid some of this knockout that we're going to be facing, as well as obviously clearing the first of these threats. The other then is we've got to be probably focused on these decoys, which are going to be preventing us from causing damage to Kraven when we get there. So let's go ahead and do that. And the other thing I was thinking is we could use the Spy Master here to give us a heroic feat. And it does also mean that we can avoid additional tokens coming out of the board. So if he does stay put and put out more, we're avoiding this overflow causing damage. Okay, so we're going to put our first heroic feat token out on this trap. We're moving across to She-Hulk, and she will draw. She'll place her double heroic. Yeah, so she's going to place her double heroic, which means we get to clear this, and we have a heroic feat left. So we'll go ahead and rescue one of the civilians that's here in Queens, and at the end of the turn she would have been able to draw up, but clearly doesn't need to, as we've not yet taken any damage. So then we are back to Mockingbird, draws another Spy Master, so we certainly don't need that at the moment. I'm going to go with the Wild. I'm thinking we'd probably best to try and control what's happening over here, although like I say, not too fussed about these traps. The decoys are the main things we want to be taking care of, but these are the biggest risk of overflow, and certainly that is something we are about. So we're going to use that single Wild to go ahead and move 1, and then we're going to use the double heroic feat to rescue 2 of those civilians. We're on a good track now to our missions. Let's go ahead and see how Kraven reacts. Yes, he's going to move 3 and still no BAM. Wow, I'm surprised. I am surprised. Okay, so let's go ahead and move him 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then he's thankfully not going to put out any of these tokens, because of course we did have that spy master card. The next master plan card played cannot add any civilians or thugs to my location. It is my location, not anywhere, so he will proceed to do that. Thankfully we have got capacity, but we are very much now on the brink of overflow on lots of locations. So we've got a civilian and a thug going out in all of those 3 locations. Okay, so that is Kraven done. We are over to She-Hulk. She has another transformation. So let's just remind ourselves where she is. She's got a single wild in the storyline, so she can certainly use that as a move, and then the transformation would give her a move as well. I think he'll probably come down to Osborne Land, so she can do a move and the move and then do a double attack. Take out those 2 thugs. I think that's going to be our best bet as it currently stands. So let's go ahead and do that. So she'll do, she'll play her transformation. She'll do 1 and 2 and then do a double attack. Okay, so we've got our first thugs off of the board. We are back to Mockingbird. So we've got a move and a heroic feat. She does have a move, but you can certainly use that to come down here to Oscorp Tower with a view to maybe starting to clear out. Well, do I want to clear out the decoy? Do I want to focus on preventing overflow right now? And I'm thinking, do I want to focus on that spy master again, just because it may give us a bit more breathing space? So we've got a move and a heroic feat. Is what I'm thinking. Which means she can't go far, but she does get move 1 and do a rescue there. So let's go ahead with that. So we're back to She-Hulk, who has her double wild. That's fine. I'd rather play the double wild than gaining 3 attack, because at the moment there is nothing on the board I can deal 3 points of damage to. Perhaps if there were henchmen with more life, but right now we've got 1 thug, 1 thug, 1 thug, 1 thug, 1 thug. So because it would all go in one play, doesn't really help us. But that's okay. Let's go ahead and do the double wild. So we've got double wild and a heroic feat, which means we can use, so we could clear this decoy. I'm going to be a cheat and see what it would give me. It would give me an attack token at the end of the turn. Versus I could move up there and take away 2 more civilians. I think that's going to be the better bet. So I'm going to move and take away 2 civilians, and I hope to put a dent on the overflow risk. And we are back to Kraven, who is going to stay where he is, and bam. Okay, so his bam is deal 1 damage, let's remind ourselves. So he's going to deal 1 damage to each hero in his location, plus any one hero with crisis tokens takes a damage per crisis token. Thankfully, we don't currently have any crisis tokens, so it just means She-Hulk will take that 1 point of damage, and that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and put one of these transformations under the deck. It's currently limited capability on the board right now for us anyway, so that's fine. So this is nothing coming out, and we are back to Mockingbird. Draws a move and attack. She got a double wild. Okay, so I'm thinking the move and attack is maybe a good bet. Go ahead with that. So we're going to do a move. No, let's do an attack. Yeah. Is that what I want to do? No, I'm going to move and then attack. At least buys us 1 space. And we've got a double wild. And I'm going to clear. I'm not going to clear, sorry. I'm going to put 2 heroic feats out on the Oscorp Tower decoy. Hopefully making the right decision. We will find out. Go back to She-Hulk, who gets a single heroic feat. So just remind ourselves where we are. So we've given us 1 space of freedom in every location now. We've got a good amount of space here and here and here and here. So it's only these 2 here, but we've now got the risk from an overflow perspective. Therefore, what have I got? I've still got 1 thug in every location. I've got to move and attack in the storyline. Move and attack. I'm wondering, do I do the heroic feat? Yes, let's do the heroic feat. Okay, so going to move and attack and a heroic feat. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do the heroic feat where we are at the moment. Start clearing off this decoy. I'm going to move and attack here, and then at the end of my turn I get to draw a card and heal. So I'll do that. Okay, so now back to Mockingbird. Oof, double attack. So she's got a heroic feat and a double attack where she is. Fortunately, where she is, there's no use for any attack. But we could do a move and a heroic feat. With a heroic feat already in the storyline, that would give her a move and 2 heroic feet. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll use 1 heroic feat to clear this threat. That's 2 down. Okay. And what have we got? Move and a heroic feat. Right, I'm going to clear 1 of these and then move over to Osborne Labs. We're going to try and start clearing this decoy. These are the 2 decoys now we're interested in clearing. That is it for our turn. We are back to Kraven, who does a 2 and a bam, and he puts out 1 in each of the spaces. Okay, so let's have a look. So 1 and 2, and bam, there are no heroes there, and no one still has any crisis tokens, so we're doing well. And then he's got to put out a thug here here and here, so we've just narrowly avoided overflow at the high school. Okay, and it is back to She-Hulk. So she healed and she gets to draw another card, so another transformation. Unfortunately, the only location that has more than one thug to take out in a single turn is right here on the other side of the board, although not quite the other side of the board. So she could actually get there. That's interesting, and that's, I mean, the heroic feat. Well, we could rescue a civilian, so yes, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to play our transformation. So she's going to do, so she got a double move and a heroic feat, and then 3 attack. But she can't split them to different locations, that's the catch. So she'll do a double move and a heroic feat to rescue a civilian. So we are nearly complete on that now. And then 2 of those attacks to defeat 2 thugs. Okay, so we are over to Mockingbird. Move and heroic feat. So she's got to move in a timeline here, and we've got to move in heroic feat. We do want those heroic feats in order to clear this decoy. Just doesn't feel like she's really doing a lot is the issue for me, but that's fine. We'll do a move and heroic feat, and she will move to Daily Bugle and do a heroic feat there. Okay. So we are back to She-Hulk. Draw a card. It's a single wild. We've not seen Mockingbird's double wild. So we've got a move and a heroic feat in this storyline. We could add a move and attack, which means she could do a double move, which could certainly be handy. I think that's going to be our best bet. So we're going to do, so she's got 2 movement, a heroic feat and an attack. She's going to do a move and then attack, and a move and a heroic feat to start clearing this out. And it is back to Kraven. Oof. Move clockwise to the next location with any heroes. So let's just have a quick look at this card. Oops, that's out of the way. And then he's going to do an obstinate hunt. So 1 hero in Kraven's location takes 1 crisis token, and then he's going to bam. That is going to hurt, folks. So he's going to move clockwise to the next location with any hero. So let's do that first of all. Sorry, so that will be Mockingbird. And then he's going to do one here in that location to say crisis token. We'll give her a crisis token now. And then he's going to bam. There's a reminder. Bam, deal 1 damage to each hero. To each hero in Kraven's location. So we'll do a damage plus any 1 hero with crisis tokens takes down 1 damage per crisis token they have. Okay, so she's going to take 2 points of damage. So I'm going to put the movement down. There's a double attack in use. Just thinking, how close are we to clearing these? Yeah, we'll keep the double attack. Keep the double attack and lose the move and single attack. Okay. She really wants to heal. Okay, so that was it. That was his bam. That's action. Okay, so we are now back to Mockingbird. So she will draw. Battle stage, defeat 2 thugs in your location and then do an attack. Fortunately, we don't have a single location with 2 thugs. That's frustrating. And she has got a move and an attack in the storyline. Oh, that is frustrating. Really wanted a heroic feat, but it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. Okay, so we're going to do the double attack. Not that we get to make much use of it, but we'll still do that. Okay, so we're going to do a double attack. So she will do a single attack, defeat 1 more thug, and then she will take the move. She can't do any more attacks, but she does get to heal 1 card. At least she's less likely to die. Ooh, she's just drawn a double heroic feat. That is tasty. But we are now back to She-Hulk, who gets a double attack. Lots and lots of attack, but can't use them really right now. Although we could trigger this master plan, the mission, but I really don't want to at this stage, because of course that will put Kraven under pressure if I clear this. But I absolutely could with all that attack. Can I do, or I could ignore the threats. That's defeat 2 thugs, that doesn't help. Ooh. Golly gosh. I'm thinking I'm going to use my single wild. So she's got a wild and 2 attacks. If I activate it now, he will go. I can't control where he's going to end. That's the issue. Right now where he is, be ideal. Oh. But there's no way around it. Okay, let's make him vulnerable and we'll see how we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm going to use my wild to do a heroic feat and clear the rescue civilians mission, and we're going to use an attack to defeat a thug, which clears the thugs mission. So we just have the clear threats mission remaining, and Kraven is now under pressure, so he goes next. Okay, see what he does. It's going to be a move 1 and a bam. Ooh. Okay, that's not. Okay, yeah, we're not, I don't think we're doing too bad. We're not doing too bad. Okay, so he's going to move 1 to She-Hulk. He didn't like her last move, clearing those missions. Oh, not impressed. He's going to do 1 damage to each hero in his location. The decoys doesn't have an effect because that's preventing him taking damage. So 1 damage to She-Hulk. We'll put the single attack onto the bottom, and then it does say any hero with a crisis tokens must take 1 damage per crisis token that they have, which means Mockingbird will also take 1 point of damage. That's fine, we'll get rid of that. That's fine. Mind you, it's an attack, better than nothing, I guess. We'll get rid of the double heroic feat. Keep the attack. Okay. And then that's the end of his activation. Nope, not quite. He's now going to put out 3 thugs. And we are not at risk of overflow. So 1 in Bugle, goes upside down. 1 in Osborne Labs. And 1 over in Osborne Tower. Okay. So that's his action. We have 2 actions. Let's go ahead and see what Mockingbird draws. Double wild! Come on, baby! That is going out. Wow. So in the storyline, Mockingbird has triple wild. That is pretty wild. And yeah, Kraven is definitely a guy. 1, 2. So she could do. So she could do 2 movement and attack him, but because of the decoy, every time Kraven takes damage in this location, he ignores the first damage received. That's annoying. That is annoying. Alternatively, she could move 1. Ooh. And take a sneaky peek at the master plan card. Maybe? Is that going to make a difference? I don't think it is. How many transformations have I put down? Is what I'm now thinking. Ideally, I want to clear this threat. That is not going to happen. Simple as. So, what we're going to do instead then is, there's just no benefit doing anything else. Okay, we'll move 1. We'll clear this threat because we can. And that gives us the opportunity to look at the next master plan card, just in case it does come to pass. So it's going to be adding another crisis token. Well, that works for us because it means Mockingbird will take that other crisis token rather than She-Hulk. So that's good. So we're going to leave that there. And it also means he stays in our vicinity for attack. Okay, so that works for us. Let's have a look and see what She-Hulk draws. Double attack with a double wild, but transformation is the way to go. That is what we need. Let's just check now then. So we've got 1, 2, 3 transformation. Sorry, here we go. So we've got 1, 2, and 3 transformation in the storyline, which means she does 1 attack plus 1 for each transformation, including this one. So that's another 3. So that's 4 points of damage, which is what he's got. Plus the double wild, that is enough to take him down at 6 points of damage. So even though he ignores the first point of damage received in this location, he is absolutely taken down. Sure, like it. Wow. Okay, so that was Kraven the Hunter. Interesting. I think we got away lightly not seeing more of those crisis token cards coming out sooner. We didn't end up. We only managed to actually acquire a single crisis token, so that definitely made a difference. You could definitely see how nasty those crisis tokens are with that impact. Any one hero with crisis tokens takes 1 damage per crisis token that they have. So again, there's potentially the option to discuss and deliberate as a team and orchestrate if possible. You know, who's taking however many crisis tokens, etc. And obviously the villainous plot is we lose if we're all knocked out at the same time. So we did manage to avoid that. In fact, we didn't even suffer a single knockout. We did well. Didn't have overflows. I'm impressed because that's the other way that we could take damage. Yeah, no, I was impressed. Okay, so that was Kraven the Hunter versus She-Hulk and Mockingbird. She-Hulk, our brand new one, just unlocked on the upper storyline with those keys. We'll see what we've just moved along on the track, and then we'll have a couple more heroes take on another one of our new villains and see what they bring to the table. I hope you've enjoyed this. I have. As always, please, if you've liked it, please like. If you want to encourage me to keep making this content, please hit subscribe. It really does encourage me. Otherwise, it's always to say thanks for watching. Ta-ta for now.